Hmm. Well, what about people like Braun? I mean, they're on form this season.
I'm sorry, but if Alonso goes to Braun, I will shoot myself.
Why?
Because Alonso does not belong at Braun.
Yeah, but to be honest, I would say he doesn't belong in Ferrari either.
He belongs more in a Ferrari than he does in a Braun.
I don't know. I reckon he could quite easily replace Barrichello.
Have you ever, like, someone's turned around and said to you that a driver's going to this team, and you've thought, yeah, I can see that, and someone else has turned around and said to you that a different driver's going to another team, and you've thought, well, he just doesn't fit?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm thinking
for?
with Ferrari and Alonso. I mean, there was that.
Yeah, we do, because Ferrari is a win-at-all-costs kind of team. We've seen that from the Michael Schumacher years. We are the fastest when we're on form, and we will do what it takes to make the wins happen. And to me, Alonso's more of that guy than Raikkonen is.
Well, more than a Massa as well, but there was all this hatred between them. I mean, there was a lot of friction when Schumacher was still driving for them, and Alonso was, he took 2 world championships then. But there was also the whole when he was in Renault as well. There was the whole stealing of everything. I mean, perhaps that's more of a grudge match between Renault and the Ferrari, not between the driver. But there was a considerable sort of hatred between Schumacher and Fernando Alonso. I mean, and now that Schumacher's definitely going to be with Ferrari for another couple of years, doing sort of advisory stuff, I really couldn't see it happening. I don't think he belongs there. It's kind of, he'd be like, it's so funny. When I see him there, I still see him in his little blue sort of overalls of Renault, just sort of standing out amongst the red.
Yeah, I don't really fit here. Yeah. I don't know. I think Ferrari, if they do sign him, need to get rid of one of their drivers. But I think they'd be stupid to pass up the opportunity. Because anyone that signs Alonso is onto a good thing. As much as I might not like the guy personally, I think they'd be stupid to pass him up.
Well, there's certainly better drivers than Alonso. I mean, Alonso is probably better than Raikkonen. But you have Hamilton, who is definitely better than Alonso.
Yeah, he's not allowed to go to Ferrari. I'm sorry, I've deemed that law.
Right, okay.
Hamilton's never to go to Ferrari, I'm sorry.
But you also have...
I'd have
Jenson Button would give him a good run for his money.
I don't know.
But I don't think he's particularly better than him, but I don't know, it's close. It's really close.
Yeah. Button needs to sort himself out just before anything's said about him.
Yeah.
He's cracking a bit. I mean, everyone's going on about how Jenson Button's cracking. I'm sorry, right? But winning the World Championship for himself and for the team is his job. At the end of the day, that's what he gets paid £30 million a year for, right? Now, if you go into your job and let's face it, because he's winning the World Championship, that makes him the best in the world. Now, if you were the best in the world at your job, and everybody expected you to continue to be the best in the world at your job, despite the fact that there's, let's face it, some fantastic challenges in the case of Vettel, Webber, Barrichello, amongst others, and it's getting to the end of the year when, people decide your future for the next year, I'd be losing it a bit. I really would.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was certainly a lot of pressure on him, but I think he can do it this year. I think he's a very good driver. I mean, he's got a good car this year, and I think if somebody keeps him in a good car, he will continue to do well. But yeah, he would certainly give Alonso a run for his money. I mean, in terms of driving talent, I think Alonso has a different driving style, which is perhaps, I mean, it is proved slightly better across the years.
Yeah.
So we have the top three races this year: Alonso, Hamilton, and Button. In terms of talent, I'm not talking points at the moment. And I think Brawn and or McLaren would fit both of Jenson Button and Hamilton. Alonso, I would say, belongs somewhere like Renault with maybe anything but Ferrari. In fact, no, anything but Ferrari or McLaren, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll chuck him in a Force India next year. See how he
I'd
goes
like
with
to see
that.
that.
But yeah, I think that's enough on where Fernando Alonso belongs. What else was new? Apparently the Liechtenstein, a firm in Liechtenstein is interested in buying BMW Sauber. Apparently they've tried to do it before, but they didn't. So yeah, Mario Thiessen said that despite the fact that he would have liked a management buyout, chances are it's not going to happen. But it's really weird because, you know, the technical coordinator for BMW Sauber said he'll leave Formula One if BMW Sauber folds. The thing is like their staff. Okay, it's fair enough saying that you're going to leave Formula One if BMW fold. But the other on the other hand, if BMW fold, who's going to give you a job? You know, not being funny about it, but you've got all the teams who've had a lot of their staff for several years. I mean, even Force India. Force India still have staff there that were Jordan's staff. And that's years ago. So who's to say that they would even get a job? And the other thing is I like the fact that it's if BMW Sauber folds. BMW have said that they are leaving, and the team don't have an entry for next year. So I think it's more of a case of when they fold as opposed to if. The only way that they're not going to fold is if they get a buyer in the next probably 3 or 4 weeks, because I reckon we've heard no announcement on the last place of the last team on the grid, because everyone's hoping that they get this sorted out and the place can just go back to them.
Yeah. Well, you'd hope so. One more thing, KERS and Renault.
Yeah,
Do you think they're going to have it ready for Monza?
it's already on the car.
Really? Ah, marvellous. So Alonso and Grosjean will have KERS inbuilt. That's going to make this race a lot more interesting. That means there's 3 teams on the pitch to watch, you know?
That explains Grosjean's pace today, actually. Not meaning to demean the guy, but the last few races, he's been within the last 5 to 10 places on the grid. All of a sudden, today he's in the top 5, top 6. It's like, well, you know, that's a bit weird, really. I mean, where second practice session today, finished second. First practice session, he was... Oh no, in the first one he was quite low down. So I don't think that's his true pace. Definitely in the second session. I reckon that's time done on... Well, actually, compare it to his first session. 125.6 in the first to a 124.1